Morning, folks. Today is Good Friday. We are at the extreme south end of the area that would be contiguous with the Five Bogs. We're in Vermont today. And today is probably going to prove to be one of those days where you didn't know what conditions were when you left the house. It is raining, it is foggy on the road, the visibility is probably not much more than 60 feet. And the snow is looking directly at it, probably 2 feet deep. So getting in deep on foot is looking challenging at best. So that's what conditions are today. I'm going to make of the day what I can, but the conditions are not what I didn't know what to expect it now, but now that I see them, we'll see what we can do. All right? Thanks. A quick update. The ingress I found is not apparently what I thought it was. I was looking again in some very foggy conditions. We're going to go down the road and reassess where we think we are. So, slight change in plans. Update number 2. I have gone down the road and found the right trail this time. And it is walkable so far. And so we will proceed as planned and take the day. Not sure what we're going to do. It's still a lot more snow covered than I had expected based on conditions to the south. But regardless, we're here and this was the plan for the day. So the day is young and we're going to do that because I don't think any other area around here is going to have any less snow. So we might as well stick with the plan. So we shall. Onward. We are recording. The conditions are not totally what we didn't know what to expect. It was too early to tell. This is probably the earliest I've made any deep woods ingress that was not familiar territory, and I've already made one ingress off the snow, and just to sort of make the point, we seem to be sharing the area with some snowmobilers. But it's deep. No, they're over there actually. So the snowmobilers are out here trailblazing. I will work with what I got, as it is. The snow is very deep and walking through it's tricky. So I'll do this side, which hopefully, yay. That actually might be worth the point. What's that? Wait, that's my foot up to its knee. That's how deep this stuff is. So how far in I'm going to get is to be determined, because you walk off this thing, you are way up into your thighs, potentially in snow. So as much as I don't normally like to share my woods with folks like ATVers or snowmobilers, they're really the only reason why I'm able to get out here today for any distance. So the lesson for the day is beggars can't be choosers, pretty much. And we'll take it, because we're fairly near the 5 bogs, but honestly, if it's this deep here, that's further north. I don't really know how you're going to fare any better. So, it is crazy foggy though. So, alright, so I guess this is more a pre-scouting mission than a real actual, given the fog and just the hopefully I don't have a hat flap in the video the whole time. They're going to be in here tearing around all day. Good day for them if they are, but it's going to make my editing more strenuous. So, can I make it over there to get some? This is really deep. Interesting tracks only because there's nothing really else around it. And actually, see if I can capture that. The stride, the tracks I found are 2.5 feet. And if I can get the camera on that about in size with my hand, and 1, 2, 3, 4 toe indents. Not really sure what that is, but it's bounding and it's not going in that far. Not really sure what that is. Maybe if between the photo and the video it does justice, somebody who's watching the video can lend some insight as to what made those tracks. I would be curious potentially. You kind of have to be careful of your footing here. The snow is wet and heavy and your foot doesn't always go down straight, which, if you were careless, could probably do something bad to your knee, making the walk back to your car not so good. Jesus Christ. Just went down. There's like a depression right there. Yeah, I think I'm going to not go closer because this is looking... Yep, that's... at least right there it is. Nope. This gets like really deep. I want to get a picture. And I'm going to follow the tracks I know that aren't crazy deep, because if I can, because some of this is really deep. I'm remembering all the cautionary things I read in winter camping books about depressions and things, and the pitfalls literally of post holing, which is what I'm doing. I have yak tracks with me, but they're not really going to do any good, and snowshoes I would probably need to take on and off. Jesus Christ. I literally just was up to my thigh. Alright, back to the trail. Yeah, if these guys weren't out snowmobiling today, any thoughts of getting into any depth would be pretty funny, because you can hear me huffing and puffing. I was just walking in there, and the fog is so thick you can't even really see into the wetlands. So today is a different day than I've had in recent days, because a lot more snow and a lot more fog. Just driving the way in here was hazardous, visibility wise, but we're here. Whew. So I'm going to put this one down as a Recon to be followed up with warmer times, and you can actually get in here. At which point you probably won't even recognize the place. But I'm curious where those tracks were, though. Like I said, it was bounding, and the bound was about 2.5 feet. Track about that big. So 4 points on a paw too. So I don't know. Are the feet of a snowshoe hare that big? Do they look like that? Fisher cat maybe? I have this winter seen mink out and about, so there are weasel type animals out looking for food. But we'll see where the day takes us. Yeah, because even with even out on the road, the visibility, I wouldn't judge beyond 75 feet or so out here. So but if nothing else, when I get back and compile my camera work, I can at least give a conditions report, if nothing else, because challenge. I honestly do think you'd mess up your knee if you went in and just or get stuck in a depression or something. If the ground's uneven and you got drifting. Excuse me. So, while I'm walking in the snow, I'm going to check my camera to make sure it is in fact recording, because I tried to do this on a video segment before and I was basically talking to myself because the camera wasn't on. My plans for the first part of the year is kind of what I call an initial assessment period, which is pretty much the meat on the bone of what I'm doing today. Getting into certain areas, if possible, if conditions allow, case in point, and assessing signs of activity and conditions, again, weather, snow levels, in order to decide order of priority of areas to work, be it the whatchamacallit, the Sea Loop area, the Sunapee area, the Five Bogs and or Manitou, not to mention local vigilance, which I have been working where conditions are much more forgiving. Because right now I'm kind of limited to the trail and short forays off the trail. A long trek into the deep snow really just not workable. So, I mean, if this trail wasn't here and I was going through the stuff I just was, honestly, I would probably burn 1,000 calories doing it, and it would take me a good part of the day. It's just that deep. The tricky part is it's also uneven, so that can easily cause problems. It really is just really deep in there. This was more packed down. It might be worth looking at this in, but I'm not convinced of that. And you can probably get a better look over here without having to do that and take the risk. But that yeah, it opens up so we can look in. But again, even with that, the fog is really obscuring the view. So today is probably going to be more of a look than an in-depth bushwhack. Yeah, this opens up so I can maybe get a look at this, but again, and I'm going to make every step, and if it is a pond, but it's really obscured. very obscured view. So I actually have to climb out of this. Good God. How deep was that even? That was like my whole leg. Whew. That was like my whole leg, and I literally had to work my way up using my knee and my heel. That is ridiculous. But wonder if that was worthy of a blooper reel. Sorry, just doing a camera check. It should hold up okay. It is fairly warm, actually. In spite of all the snow, it is actually in the 40s today, which is fairly mild for winter. Yeah, so the first part of the year we'll be doing first assessments like this, and I'm already kind of thinking this is going to need a second look after all the snow is gone, because right now this is not a fair assessment of what it's probably normally like. And if you follow this far enough and do some bushwhacking, which we won't be doing today, it would lead you to one of the ponds I was at, I'm going to say early to mid-June last year, which will parallel the south end of the Five Bogs area. So you could conceivably see activity in here, but again, this is a new part of the overall area. I have not come in from the extreme south before, but I guess today's video will end up being a mixed bag, because I initially went to the wrong place, and so Google Street View is good for that much, because I was pretty able to pretty quickly assess that I wasn't exactly where I thought I was. Now I am. But some nice folks said that there were some trails in there which almost sound like they parallel and then eventually connect with these in here. So that, knowing that information is useful just down the road. But not to mention the fact that I have to remind myself it's actually raining too. Lightly raining. My coat's fairly water resistant, so I haven't really noticed. I've got the hat on, and it's like a drizzle, so it's not really that big a nuisance. So what I'm not really seeing a lot of off the trail though are animal tracks, except for that one set that I saw. I think even for a moose this would be hard going, just because with the snow being so wet and heavy. I mean, you saw what I just had to do to get my leg out. I literally had to climb out of that hole. That's how I rock back and forth and make a little room so I could actually climb up and out of that, because that was insane. It was like my whole leg.